in high school, I thought that I had to be this straight A jock that was going to go to college on a scholarship and was just the perfect example of what a pretty little Catholic high school girl should be. And in reality, I was a totally different person.
I identify as gender full, and what that means to me is I am all the genders here in one.
My name is Jennifer Lynn Hoffman.
I'm Jake Aaron Riddle, 17.
I'm Simone Jameen Riddle, and I'm 22, and I'm from Virginia, but I live here in Pittsburgh now.
My name's Anna Catherine Teresa Daly Shaw, if you want to get real technical.
My name's Hev Papenchak. I am from the Cosmos, and I'm 28 years old.
My name is Tanya Ray Shamir Berry. I am 32 years old, and I'm from Pinellas, PA.
My name's Hannah Dorsey Gray. I'm 34 years old.
I'm Jude Benedict S. I am 23 years old. I'm originally from Connellsville, Pennsylvania, and I'm living here in Pittsburgh.
Androgyny to me means that I get to break the rules of social norms and gender roles. It means that I can wear what I choose to and not what my gender tells me I should be wearing and the societal constructs of gender tells me I should be wearing. It allows me to act the way I want to and do the things I want to without feeling like I'm in a box.
I think being androgynous means being intuitive to what is within you, to be not specified by a gender, but instead choosing what your comforts are, of who you truly and authentically are, what your own truth is.
I feel very confident with my gender expression, and I feel that it's a beautiful demonstration of who I am as a creature.
I understand androgyny to be that wonderful space between what you feel you are supposed to be and who you really are. I feel most comfortable in my androgynous skin. I'm not pink or blue. None of us really are.
Pittsburgh is hard because there is so much diversity here, but there's a lot of diversity with traditional beliefs and thoughts.
It feels to me like Pittsburgh is a little bit more conservative in their acceptance or expression of queerness or anything that is perhaps different from the norm, relatively speaking.
Pittsburgh has definitely evolved. However, compared to a lot of other cities, it's still kind of slow. Like you said, there's a lot of times where it's still not accepted in a lot of areas. I think even now with the fact that we can get married, it's taken it another step further compared to where it was. So there's a lot more of has to be social acceptance.
I haven't really traveled to Europe or anything, but I've heard rumors and hearsay that, you know, sexuality, gender is a lot more fluid kind of around the world, and I wish that was something that was more accepted in the United States.
Pittsburgh has been a very positive space for me. I'm not sure if this is just a very moving time in my life, or if it's literally something that Pittsburgh has to offer. I think it's a little bit of both.
My father's actually blind, so he's never seen me before, so, which is probably a good thing, but he definitely, I think my mom describes me to him, and, you know, he says things like, your mom says your hair, like, you know, sticks up, and you look like Ronald Reagan, and apparently Ronald Reagan had a pompadour when he was young, too. I said something to my father once about being androgynous, and he said, I don't know what that means, and I said, well, Dad, I think people don't know if I'm a boy or a girl. Like, they just don't, they look at me and they don't know, you know, like, what to think of me, and they stare at me a lot, and he said, well, people stare at me a lot, too. So I think there's definitely an understanding with my parents that, you know, my dad just, I mean, doesn't really know what I look like, but doesn't care because I think he, you know, he says that, you know, your mother tells me that people stare at me a lot in public, and who cares?
I pretty much always grew up with an androgynous style. I think later on when I really came into the lifestyle, I felt like I had to conform to a label. So for a while I just basically considered myself a stud. then after, you know, really coming into my own and realizing that I like to wear different things and, you know, I have a different style that's unique and on my own, I just decided that I'm just going to be me.
I feel that when people may have their first glance at me, they may wake up a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe some are skeptical, but I never receive any type of malice or violence, at least not yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that it's part of my path here to be proud in who I am. And who I am is so many things beyond any identity.
I can be what feels right for me, what feels right on my body, in my skin, in my words, in my actions. It's not about how I look.
It doesn't have to be, you know, just because I'm gay or androgynous that I have to be super, super masculine, or, you know, just because I'm a lipstick lesbian doesn't mean I have to be super feminine. I think it's about breaking the barrier of what we want to put people in a box to be, and then finding what it means for us to be comfortable, because the reality is when we are comfortable in who we are, that's what changes the world, that's what changes things, that's what changes people, because it's convicting. And I hate seeing people in Pittsburgh that can't, like, grab what that is for them, to just take it and be like, this is who I am,
Right.
this is what I want to do. Maybe whatever that clothing or whatever the hell you want to do, it doesn't matter, just be who you are, and let it convict people so they know that we don't have to be what everybody says we need to be. It's just whoever you are. It doesn't make a difference of skin color or race or sexuality, or, you know, maybe I'm more intuitive with my feminine side versus intuitive with my masculine side. Whatever it means for you, you know. And I think androgyny could be a term that can be far beyond sexuality or being super masculine. I think, to me, androgyny means being intuitive to what the ebb and flow of life, of knowing how certain things make you feel and being okay with it, and not having to fight against it, but accepting it.
It's one of those things that no matter where I go next, this will always be a huge part of my history.